Hi Dops and Dolphins, welcome to Graphic Arts with Ms. Purcell and
Kusama.
today we're making a painting inspired by the artist Kusama Yayoi.
Why are we saying it backwards?
Well, she's a Japanese artist, so Japanese people say their last name first and their first name last. And Kusama is her last name, so that we always call artists by their last name. So we're gonna call her Kusama from now on. Do you know where Japanese people are from, Gray?
Japan.
That's right. So this artist is, obviously, this artist is from Japan. Now, Kusama made paintings of a lot of different things, but there is one thing that is in every single one of her paintings. And what is it?
Polka dots.
Polka dots. So we're gonna be making a lot of dots today. What do we need for our project, Gray?
We need paper, a pencil, magic marker, watercolor paints, a paintbrush, and something to put your water in.
Okay. So if you do not have watercolor paints today, I'm going to show you a way to make paints using magic markers and aluminum foil. You ready to get started?
Yep.
The first step to our Kusama mushroom painting is drawing the mushrooms. I'm going to draw 5 mushrooms today. The first one will be over here. This is the largest of the mushrooms. And this is the stem of the mushroom. It looks like a peanut shape or a pinched oval. Then I'm going to start here and come up and around and make a rounded triangle for the top of the mushroom. Then there's a curved line that comes here and around. That shows the underside of the mushroom. Now, if I'm going too fast, make sure you pause the video so you can catch up. Down here, I'm drawing a smaller mushroom than that. This one has an oval stem. It's sort of like a hot dog shape. And then 2 diagonal lines that come out of the top. From these diagonal lines, we're going to make a rainbow line and then another curved line. We're going to draw a different kind of mushroom here. This one just has an oval for a top, and then the base is just a stretched out U, nice skinny U. We're going to replicate this mushroom, but over here and angled differently. So you're going to have that same hot dog shaped oval stem, 2 diagonal lines. At the top, you come around in a rainbow line, and then another curved line here. And then we have one more small one on its side up here. So you're going to have a very small oval stem, 2 diagonal lines, and then that curved rainbow line with another curved line underneath. So if you need to pause the video to catch up, go ahead, and I'm going to go on to the next step. The next step is to create the background. We are achieving this by drawing a bunch of little dots all over the background, and then we will connect those dots to make shapes. So draw dots everywhere, just little tiny dots. They don't have to be huge, but you need to be able to see them. I'm not just poking the paper with my pencil. I'm making sure that I have dots that I can actually see. Once I have all my dots on the background, I am then going to connect them to make shapes. If there's no dot to connect to, I can just draw it into the side of the mushroom. So you're connecting all your dots, you're making these random shapes. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to paint the background a solid color. These dots that you see all over here, they come later using a magic marker. So right now we're going to paint the background solid colors. So now that it's time to paint, you can either use watercolor paints or you can use the next technique I'm going to show you. If you're using watercolor paints, all you have to do to use them is dip your brush in water, swirl it around in the watercolor palette, add some water till the paint is wet, and then you paint the area. Remember to try to paint all in the same direction. You don't want to push down hard with your paintbrush because then that gives it a bad hair day. You want to keep it to a nice point. Now, if you don't have watercolor paints, you can get a piece of aluminum foil and color a nice big area with the color you want. So you just color the area. Now, I used a big area of this magenta color because that's the color I'm going to do my background. So what you do is the same thing you do with watercolor paint. You get water on your paintbrush, you put it in the paint or in the marker, and then you brush it on your background and it creates watercolor paint. So I am going to finish painting all of my mushrooms with the marker watercolor paint. Once your watercolor is completely dry, it is time to apply dots using magic markers. Now you can see I left some areas white. I left them white intentionally because I wanted them to have a white background. So if you look at my finished one, I have a variety of different polka dots. I have these concentric circle ones. I have little tiny ones. I have bigger ones, medium and small. Up here are the concentric circles, but it's just filled in with another color. Here, these are negative space polka dots where I colored in the background and left the actual dots white. These are just circles. So I'm going to show you how to do a few of these, and then you can do whatever type of polka dots you want, wherever you want on these mushrooms. First one I'm going to do are the concentric circles up here. All you do is you create a bigger dot by just making a circle and filling it in, and then you trace around that circle to make another circle. Sometimes you put them near the edge so it looks like it's cut off. Okay, that's the same as these over here, except the ones that are over here have another color in the middle of them. That one has the blue inside there. This one has little tiny dots in it, and you get those by just touching the very tip of your marker very gently to the paper. The harder you press, the bigger the dots, but be careful with pressing hard because you can make your marker run out. So down here, this one has larger dots in the center, so I make those just by going around in a circle and filling it in. And then it has a medium-sized dot, so I press just a little bit harder. And then it has itty bitty dots around the edge, so I just touch the top. This one over here has negative space dots, so what you do is you draw circles. Don't color them in. And then you color in the space around the circle. space around an object is called negative space. Okay, so that's just a few different types of polka dots. You can make whatever kind of polka dot wherever you want on these. The final step is to outline the lines in your background and outline around your mushrooms. I'm going to do that with a black marker just because I like the way that black looks. I think it makes it look like it pops, but you can choose whichever color you'd like for this step. Are you ready for the big reveal?
Yep.
Ta-da! So as you can see, ours looks completely different. They're the same idea. We both have our mushrooms. We both have the same kind of background, but Gray used whatever colors she wanted, and I used whatever colors I wanted. And I really like how you used a lot of different types of dots. Do you know what it's called when you have a lot of different types of something?
A variety.
Right, she used a variety of different dots. So when you're finished, make sure you upload it to my classroom so I can see it. Hope you had fun creating Kusama mushroom paintings with us.
Bye.
Bye.